It's Tuesday, May 26th. Today, the pathway to demolition. What's next for Winnipeg's Arlington Bridge as the city green lights the wrecking ball? Also, losing lots of lots. How many parking spaces are disappearing at the Forks to make way for a new development, and what that means for your future trips to the Winnipeg destination. Plus, booze sales sore spot. What's holding Manitoba brewers back from selling their locally made products across the country? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, Ainsley McPhail is live at the Charleswood Museum. I've never been there, so I've never seen some of the artifacts there, but there's a list of really unusual artifacts, including chicken sunglasses. So we're going to find out what that's about. Throughout the morning, she's going to take us around and show us some of those cool artifacts. But the weather yesterday, another phenomenal evening.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, the day was beautiful. I mean, it was hot, but for those of us that love the heat, yeah, we got what we were waiting for. And I think even those that don't love the heat, it was a nice change up from this cool spring that we've had. But it could become tiresome for those of you that don't love the heat, because we're going to be dealing with those kind of temperatures all throughout this week. Right now, it's 11 degrees. That's an above seasonal start to your day. 8 would be a normal low, so we're only a few above what is normal. There is plenty of sunshine. It's risen already, started to rise at 5:30 this morning. Those east-northeast winds on the lighter side, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 56%. So yes, pretty clear. And that's the case around the province today. Everybody's soaking up the sunshine. Well, most places. I think there might be a little bit of precipitation, if I remember seeing correctly. Well, let's get to the futurecast, shall we? I think within these clouds, there might be a little bit of scattered precipitation in that far northeastern part of the province, but clear for everybody else. Plenty of sunshine, above seasonal temperatures. Yes, it's going to be warm. It might be a little bit breezy. That wind is not going to be intense. I mean, we had intense winds. What was that, a week, 2 weeks ago? It's nothing like that, but there will be a bit more of a breeze increasing throughout the day today, but very clear conditions continuing not just through the day, overnight, throughout tomorrow. We've got this blast of heat that's just kind of hanging over us and intensifying. So as warm as it's going to be over the next couple of days, it still looks like it's going to get even hotter toward the latter part of the week as we're pushing up then into the mid-30s. So yes, high 20s for the next couple of days, mid-30s carrying us into the weekend. And even as we're looking ahead into next week, those high 20 temperatures continue.
Thank you, Terry. The demolition of the Arlington Street Bridge could begin in a matter of weeks. At an emergency meeting Monday, a city committee gave the green light to a $10 million contract to tear down the south side of the structure. CTV's Jeff Keel explains why there was a sense of urgency to get this done now.
Alex Tatanikazi's commute is about 35 minutes longer since the Arlington Bridge shut down for good in late 2023.
And now I have to go all the way down to this way and back this way, so it takes a while.
Demolition is set to begin on the bridge, which could clear a path for a new one.
That'd be nice. I really like to see a new one here. Same route again.
The city's Public Works Committee approved a $9.9 million contract to tear down the south end of the bridge. An emergency meeting was held to approve the deal. City engineers say there is a sense of urgency to get this going, as the work over the rail tracks portion can only be done in July and August.
It's the slower period of activity within the yard is what they explained.
And then there's the bridge's condition. It was supposed to be decommissioned in 2020. Patch jobs kept it open until November 2023, when it was closed because steel was corroding at an accelerated rate. This has pushed 5,000 more vehicles per weekday towards the Slaw-Rebchuk Bridge and the McPhillips Underpass.
This bridge needs to be taken down, not only to continue progress to replacing the Arlington Bridge, but it is in such bad shape.
Despite this progress, drivers and cyclists might have to be patient. This is just the first phase of demolition. The north side of the bridge has to come down too. The hope is that could be done in 2027. And while design work on a replacement bridge is well underway, there is no funding in place to build a new one yet.
And realistically, if funding would be approved, about 2 to 3 years after decommissioning, we would start construction.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The city says the demolition this year will take up to 6 months, starting as early as June 1st. Traffic will be impacted from time to time at Logan and Arlington. The CEO of Siloam Mission will be stepping down as part of what the agency calls a 6-month organizational support plan and leadership transition. In a news release Monday, Siloam Mission announced that CEO Sonia Prevost-Durbecker will step down. The transition and the support plan have come in response to what Siloam describes as increasing financial pressures, rising community need, and operational challenges facing the charitable sector across Canada. The news release says Siloam will bring in a temporary local executive support team next week. As CTV News previously reported just over 2 weeks ago, Siloam announced it would lay off 16 people due to a reduction in donations and an increase in demand for its services. Prevost-Durbecker was appointed to the position as Siloam's CEO in mid-February of this year. Manitoba's official opposition is crying foul over the province's use of an American company for its online survey system.
We've seen time and time again this premier falsely wrap himself in a Canadian flag and talk about patriotism when it only suits his press conference or announcement as a part-time proud Manitoban.
It all has to do with the province's Engage MB website, where the province posts surveys to gauge citizens' thoughts on various topics. For example, the future of time change or the protection of the Seal River watershed. PC leader Abhi Khan says there are plenty of Canadian companies which could be doing the work instead. The site is now operated by an American company called Granicus, which Finance Minister Adrian Sala says purchased the Canadian company which used to manage the site.
The fact that the company had been sold to an American company came to light a handful of months ago. We've moved really quickly to respond to that, and we're going to ensure, again, that these services are being provided by a Canadian company.
Sala also noted all of the information is stored in data centers here in Canada. This all comes in light of Premier Wabkinu's Buy Canadian policy, which was announced a year ago in response to tariffs imposed by the United States. Prime Minister Mark Carney had a word of warning for people pushing for Alberta separation.
In these separation issues, it is often advanced that vote for this and it's a free option. Vote for this and we will strengthen our hand in a future negotiation. That is a very dangerous bluff.
Prime Minister Carney compared the Alberta referendum to Brexit. As the former Bank of England governor, he had a front row seat to the fallout from that vote. He said 10 years later, the UK is still trying to undo what people didn't think they were voting for. For now, the Prime Minister said Ottawa is looking into whether the referendum question complies with the Clarity Act, which sets the legal conditions for separation. Alberta's fall referendum is set for October 19th. Tim Hortons is planning a hiring blitz. The company has pledged to hire 10,000 local workers as it dials back use of the temporary foreign worker program. Tim Hortons says it no longer needs to rely on the program due to the high youth unemployment rates. Franchises have already hosted hiring events in March and April. More are expected throughout the rest of the year. The University of Manitoba men's basketball team just got a slam dunk of a donation. The Bisons are the benefactor of a cool $1 million, and it came from one of their own. Former team member, Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame inductee and MLA John Lowen gave the gift to support the program over the next decade or more. It will also help provide an array of necessities, including equipment, facility upgrades, travel, the establishment of work-study programs, and meals.
To me, this gift is really about gratitude. It's about recognizing the impact others have had on my life and trying to create the same possibility for someone else.
The gift will also enable the university to host major events, including the U Sports Men's Basketball Championships. Gilles Villeneuve's helmet from his final Formula One race in 1982 has just sold for a record price. The company, Hall of Fame Collection, brokered the sale for the world record price of $1.25 million US. Villeneuve's helmet had been in a private collection for close to 30 years. This helmet was worn in the 1982 San Marino Grand Prix in Italy, where Villeneuve finished second. Here's a look at what's happening outside now. Keniston and Sterling lying away. It looks like things are starting off really well this Tuesday morning. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems, let us know. Send us a text, please, at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. Good morning, Ainsley. You're live at the Charles Wood Museum. Hi.
Hi, we're previewing Doors Open on the 30th and 31st, and I thought, which museum have we not yet been to? The Charleswood Museum, and it is a blast. So many little pieces like this torture device. I'm just kidding. It is actually a hair tool for the women of the 1940s. So you know what? Some things just don't change. But when it comes to the Charleswood Museum, I have to show you this. It covers everything from our Aboriginal history to the buffalo hunting to military history. We're going to be learning about the first post office. We're going to hear about why chickens had sunglasses. And we're going to see the Manitoba tartan. We're also going to head it to the second floor. So many little nooks and crannies here, and they've got 5 volunteers, one of which is 104 years old. So it's so great to see community coming together, and it will be even better to see you guys come in here. Also, Manitoba, it's free. Come on.
Oh, I love that.
It's a win-win.
It's a good price. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go to the rooftop. Chickens with sunglasses. We all need sunglasses today.
We certainly do. I was just thinking that when she said it, I'm like, you know, I could use some too. The sun, it's looking so gorgeous out here. I don't want to be, you know, complaining about the fact that it's blinding me right now. So I won't. I'll just enjoy it and turn my head slightly. 12 degrees at the moment with east winds 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 52%. It is beautiful out here already. Yes, we're well above seasonal. 8 degrees a normal low. Well, 22 would be a normal daytime high, and we'll be surpassing that number big time. Oh, a cloud is just moving in front of that sun. How quickly the light changes, right? We're going to be seeing that sunshine, though, throughout the day today. Just a few clouds here or there. Oh, I turned blue now that the sun is tucked behind that cloud. Anyway, it is going to be beautiful. It's going to be very warm today. No matter where you are in the province, the above seasonal temperatures are expected. And it's only going to continue to heat up throughout this week. So high 20s still for the next couple of days. And then we really start to feel the extremes as we're pushing up into the low and then mid, almost high 30s later on this week. This stretch of hot days, it's extending right into the start of next week as far as we can see. Plenty of sunshine, no signs of precipitation. Obviously, that's not ideal, but we get what we get, and you don't get upset. So this time around, it's coming with some heat. We're taking a break. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. We're learning more about a major gun seizure in downtown Winnipeg. A 24-year-old man is facing 77 charges after police confiscated nearly 24 loaded handguns from an apartment. Inspector Josh Awatsky with the Winnipeg Police Service says on May 7th, police received a tip regarding a man in possession of cocaine and armed with a firearm. Police then obtained a search warrant for an apartment suite at 344 Cumberland Avenue in the Central Park neighborhood. Inside, they found 21 restricted loaded handguns, a silencer, around 200 rounds of ammunition. Police also discovered 27 grams of cocaine, $25,000, and other paraphernalia. Awatsky says investigators found evidence that a firearm had been discharged within the unit. A round had even struck a church across the street.
I'd like to talk about the impact of this seizure of firearms. These are all firearms that were meant for illegal purposes, whether it's illegal possession or use in a criminal offense. By seizing these firearms, the organized crime unit members have prevented possibly numerous shootings, including homicides, not only in Winnipeg and Manitoba, but throughout Canada, as we've learned that many of these firearms are trafficked within the province and across the country.
The 24-year-old suspect was arrested on Cordon Avenue the same day the apartment was searched. He's facing 77 charges related to drug trafficking and firearm offenses. Police allege the man was involved with organized crime and that he was trafficking cocaine to several northern Manitoba communities. However, there's no indication at this time that he was involved in the province's largest ever drug bust, the results of which were made public last week. Transport Canada is promising swift action to improve security following a W5 investigation into drug smuggling and baggage tampering at Canada's busiest airports. The revelations also raised in the House of Commons. CTV's Graham Richardson reports.
It is a chilling organized scheme uncovered by CTV's W5.
They opened up the bag. It was stuffed full of drugs.
Tags switched on checked bags, unwitting Canadians' luggage tags used to carry drugs in different bags, smuggled into the airport by corrupt employees.
You're all being detained for transporting narcotics.
The W5 investigation raised in the House of Commons Monday by the opposition.
I walk out through the terminal doors, nobody checks you. That's from a W5 investigation exposing organized crime using travelers' baggage to traffic drugs through Pearson Airport. Given the Transport Minister's silence on this brazen security failure, if the Liberals won't be taking this seriously now, why would Canadians believe they ever will with our security?
At least 6 arrests related to luggage tag swapping have been made by the RCMP. We continue to invest in law enforcement, Mr. Speaker.
This story has gone viral nationally and internationally, not only because of how many cases W5 uncovered, 17, but also because of the simple questions it raised. As passengers take off their shoes and belts and hand over water bottles at security, why aren't employees scrutinized?
We joke you could walk out carrying a cruise missile, end quote.
And it's not just Canada. These women from Brazil detained in Germany for over a month. Their bags were switched and caught on camera. They were blamed for carrying drugs. This video eventually freed them.
One of the most challenging parts about this is how vulnerable passengers are when they check their bags. Because of this investigation, many of them will now look much more closely when they arrive. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's relationship with India has officially been resparked.
I think this is a partnership that is being reset very, very rapidly. It has set in motion the pathway to a complete overhaul of this relationship, setting new agendas, new goals in mission mode.
India's Commerce and Industry Minister says Prime Minister Mark Carney's recent visit to India is what rekindled the Canada-India relationship. Piyush Goyal is in Canada for meetings on trade and investment this week, meeting with International Trade Minister Maninder Sidhu yesterday. Goyal says Canada and India can now move forward in a shared path to new agendas. On top of the goal of securing a free trade agreement by the end of this year, Goyal says Canada and India are also working to triple their trade to $50 billion US by 2030. You now have another way to cool off as temperatures climb this week. Many of Winnipeg City's spray pads are now open. The rest are expected to open by Friday, all except for Boyd Park, which is scheduled to open July 2nd. Most spray pads operate daily between 9:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. until September 7th. Meantime, heated outdoor pools are expected to open June 19th, excluding Fort Garry Lions. All other outdoor pools will operate daily, weather permitting, and wading pools will begin opening on a staggered basis beginning July the 1st. You can find hours and locations by visiting the city's website or calling 311. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Wilkes Avenue, all westbound lanes are closed from Fairmont to West Perimeter. The north and southbound curb lanes on Stafford Street will be closed from Scotland to Corden Avenue. And on Waverly Street, the northbound will be reduced to one lane between McGilvery and Hennessy. If you have any other traffic tips, send us a text at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Yeah, those spray pads can't open soon enough with the kind of weather that we're going to be experiencing this week. Looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Bright and sunny out there and already warm and above seasonal. These temperatures will be soaring across the province throughout the day. We're sitting at 12 degrees right now in Winnipeg, one of the warmer spots here in the south, but in areas that are cooler, 9 degrees in Morden, Winkler, Brandon, that's still above seasonal. 7 degrees over in Dauphin. Actually, 8 degrees is a seasonal low. So Dauphin, you're below seasonal. Come on. But we got double digits as we're looking through parts of northern Manitoba and then further into the north. Mid-single digits. Churchill coming in just at the freezing mark. Everybody is likely, though, to climb beyond what is expected this time of year as far as high temperatures go. And we'll spend the day with plenty of sun shining over us as well. Now, there will be a little bit more of a breeze increasing throughout the day. Not a shocking wind, but you will notice that wind getting a little bit stronger as the day goes on, and it could be pretty dusty because we're just dealing with these dry conditions. Plenty of sunshine, yes, and plenty of heat too. 27 degrees is where we're headed for this afternoon. 24 through the lunch hour is already above seasonal, 22 being that normal daytime high. So yes, it's going to heat up, and not just today, it's going to heat up even more so throughout the week. So high 20s for the next couple of days, and then for the latter part of the week, we're pushing up into those mid 30s. That's where we're going to stay throughout the weekend, in the 30s, and then still lingering in the high 20s as we continue on the other side into next week. And somebody seems to be loving up this gorgeous spring weather. This is taken out at Sandy Ridge Stables. That's Badger having a blast out there, dancing around or trotting around, whatever. Anyway, keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break, and we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
If you like to groove, check out this Your Morning Winnipeg contest. The Winnipeg International Jazz Festival will be happening from June 16th to the 21st, and this is your chance to win a pair of tickets to 2 shows at the Burton Cummings Theatre. Soul Supreme on June 17th and Miles Electric Band on June 21st. 50 artists from around the world are coming for its 35th annual festival, and to enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword trumpet. Good luck. The Forks is a popular place in Winnipeg year-round, and soon some major events, including Pride and Canada Day, will really pack in the visitors. But those attending may find themselves in fierce competition for a parking spot. CTV's John Hendricks shows you why the accommodation of construction means hundreds of spots are no longer available.
People pulling into the Forks can't pull into a parking spot across from the Human Rights Museum. The area and the 350 spots that used to be here are now a fenced-off construction zone for the upcoming rail side at the Forks development.
That probably would have a lot of impact, I think, for people who are driving.
People like Alicia Pomainville, who squeezed into a very tight spot in order to park Monday.
I was lucky to find a parking spot today, but sometimes you kind of have to make your own parking and hope you don't get caught, or you're waiting at least like 10, 15, 20 minutes for someone to come out so you can get a spot.
Pomainville and others wonder what impact the lost spots will have on parking at the Forks going forward.
Normally we get really crappy weather, so a lot of people aren't going to be walking in minus 50 to the Forks, so hopefully they'll be able to make some room somewhere, but I doubt it.
The Forks actually has an abundance of parking on most days.
According to figures provided by the Forks, in 2023 there was a total of 1,500 stalls available, and 92% of the time, no more than 700 are occupied. During elevated usage, about 875 spots are grabbed, but on the odd day, far more than that are needed.
So on those busier days, like an Indigenous Peoples Day and Canada Day that are both coming up, we know that parking's at a premium there. But overall, typically you can find spots here at the Forks.
The Forks is encouraging people to use alternate forms of transportation, like Winnipeg Transit when they can. And when they can't, they're advising people use patience and keep circling until that perfect spot opens up. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Rail side at the Forks is expected to open in 2028. We want to take you to a rather unique way to get your hands on some cheese.
Yeah, I think this was my most controlled run ever.
The Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling Competition was held Monday in England, sending thrill seekers and cheese enthusiasts down a slippery slope. They were following a wheel of cheese. The event dates back approximately 2 centuries. Wow. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We could pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is DREAM. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter DREAM with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest. Brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Good luck.
Beautiful start to your Tuesday. It's 12 degrees outside, and for now, those winds very light. Out of the east, just 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 52%. Look at the way the city is glowing right now. plenty of sunshine, very few clouds, just a few here or there, but overall, mainly sunny conditions, and that's going to be the case around the province today. It's also going to be hot no matter where you are today, so brace yourself for these above seasonal temperatures. Here in Winnipeg, we're headed to a high of 27 degrees. Now that breeze that's very light right now, it will be increasing, and at times could be up to 40 kilometers per hour out of the east. So a little bit gusty, especially later on today, but we'll appreciate some air moving around when we're reaching those highs that are well above normal. 22 degrees is actually a seasonal daytime high, and then 8 degrees a normal overnight low. Well, as we fall tonight down to 13, that'll keep us well above seasonal with just a few clouds lingering. Winds start to ease in the overnight hours. Tomorrow, temperatures could be even a degree hotter than today. Even more sunshine with the last of the clouds clearing out. So 28 degrees on tap for Wednesday. East winds, yeah, a little bit breezy once again. 30 kilometers per hour expected. And then those temperatures really start to ramp up. So while it's going to be hot and above seasonal to kick off the week, we're in for some scorching temperatures toward the latter part of the week as we're pushing up into the mid-30s, staying there for a stretch of days right into the weekend, still in that 30-degree range, and lingering yet into the high 20s as we're looking on the other side of the weekend.
A 26-year-old man is facing several charges following a tense situation in East Elmwood Sunday night. Police say a suspect armed with a handgun barricaded himself inside a room of a home with 4 other people. He allegedly then began waving the gun around and firing indiscriminately. Multiple police units were deployed and eventually were able to get everyone out of the home before the suspect surrendered. No one was injured. Along with a list of firearms charges, the gunman is also charged with 4 counts of forcible confinement and failure to comply. Mounties are investigating a suspicious death in a southern Manitoba town. Officers were sent to a vehicle fire at Bring and Lock Self-Storage on 2nd Street Northeast in Carman around 1:15 Monday morning. The vehicle was fully engulfed in flames when RCMP arrived, and a dead male was located nearby. RCMP were unable to say how he died or provide his identity, saying only that more details will be provided as the investigation unfolds. If you ever discovered a favorite drink while traveling and then wanted more once you got home, alcohol from other provinces can be delivered directly to you. But for local companies, selling to out-of-province customers is a challenge. And as CTV's Harrison Shin explains, the deadline to break down that trade barrier is now less than 6 days away.
It's the sound of cooling down in the heat, quenching that thirst. Here at Devil May Care Brewing Company, Colin Coop is focused on local sales, but they do get out-of-province asks.
We've really gotten that question about like direct-to-consumer sales in other provinces has been like from Winnipeggers who formerly used to live here and really enjoyed our beer and have asked us to, ship it to them and stuff like that.
Back in July 2025, 9 provinces, including Manitoba and 1 territory, Yukon, announced a memorandum of understanding to allow direct-to-consumer sales by May 2026. It means you can buy alcohol from other provinces, breweries, and wineries directly and have it shipped to your home.
We're only 6 days away from the end of the month, and we've really only had 1 additional province fully implement direct-to-consumer shipment of alcohol products. So little movements from government thus far.
Right now, Manitoba is already allowing direct-to-consumer sales, but local businesses like Devil May Care can't sell to out-of-province customers directly. Keely Lepke from Canadian Federation of Independent Business says while Manitoba has been the leader for breaking down internal trade barriers,
Manitoba should be getting up and giving a call to all the premiers, asking where governments are at. Why has this not been announced yet that direct-to-consumer has been allowed in all the other provinces?
In a statement, Manitoba Trade Minister Jamie Moses says in part the government is committed to promote open interprovincial trade, adding they are working to expand Manitoban businesses' market access across the country and will continue to champion Manitoba-made products and encourage Manitobans to support local. For Coop, when interprovincial trade does open up, he'll be ready.
If we were allowed to do it, we'd put it on we'd put an online store up. We'd figure out our shipping model and figure out how we could do that for the customers.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The battle over Canada's next generation submarine is underway as the need for a bigger fleet and team increases.
Do not have enough ships to patrol and to protect Canada like we should, which is why we're investing.
A bid is now in place for Canada to purchase 12 KSS-3 submarines from the South Korean shipbuilding giant Hanwha. And the Republic of Korea Navy arrived in Canadian coastal waters this weekend to show off the new diesel-electric submarine. The other finalist vying to deliver new submarines is from a joint German-Norwegian bid by TKMS. Ottawa is expected to make a decision this summer on the winner of the contract, which could come with a price tag of $25 billion. This is the beginning of what's described as one of the most deadly times on the roads for teen drivers.
That's when teens drive more, they have more free time, and they're often driving in higher risk conditions. Their brains are still developing and they have more difficulty calibrating risk, frankly.
In the U.S., teens between the ages of 16 and 19 have a fatal crash rate almost 3 times higher than drivers ages 20 and older per mile driven. And that tends to spike in the summer. Not using a seatbelt, distracted driving, speeding, substance use, and having teenage or young adult passengers in the car are all factors which also raise a teen's driving risk.
In addition, driving late at night, particularly between 9 p.m. and midnight, is associated with an elevated crash risk.
To reduce risk, parents can monitor their teens' driving, set clear rules and expectations like always wearing a seatbelt, not using the phone, and not driving with other young people in the car. Choosing a vehicle with safety features is also important. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now at Confusion Corner. Things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, as you can see here, but we have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Let's look now at your gas prices in Winnipeg. The average is $1.72. It's a cent lower than it was yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.51, found at Canco on Isabel Street. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Doors Open Winnipeg is happening Saturday and Sunday this weekend. It's free, and you can check out the Charleswood Museum. That's where Ainsley McPhail is live this morning. We'll have more on what you can find out there.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
All right, it is beautiful out here this morning. Standing here, soaking up the sunshine. Gorgeous start to your day, and once again, above seasonal. I say that like, oh, this is it's only the start of the above seasonal stretch. I'm aware of that. Most of this spring was well below seasonal, but this does kind of begin a trend that we'll experience throughout this week of well above seasonal temperatures, not just by a few degrees, although we're only a few degrees above seasonal to start out, because 8 would be a normal low. We're starting at 12. It comes with a very light wind. It's out of the east, just 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 52%. It also comes with plenty of sunshine, and that's going to be the case around the province and throughout the day. Very clear conditions are expected, and that sunshine is really going to bring the heat, or turn it up as it will, because into the high 20s is where we're headed for the next couple of days here in Winnipeg. Similar temperatures expected all throughout the south, but even northern Manitoba will be up into those low to mid 20s. Then it gets even hotter. For the latter part of the week, you can expect low to mid 30-degree temperatures that'll carry us right into the weekend, and plenty of sunshine to last from here right up until then. Checking in with Ainsley McPhail now to see what's going on. Hey, Ainsley, what's up?
Hey, 20 years at the Charleswood Museum. Gwen Jamieson joins us to tell us all about it. This is such a special place, Gwen. Why do you come year after year?
Oh, it's very interesting to me, and I'm not from Charleswood, so I learn a lot about Charleswood here.
And what can people learn when they walk through the doors? Doors Open coming up.
Yeah, well, right behind me is the first Charleswood post office, and it was located at the back of Kelly's store, and Kelly's store was where the Legion is now. And as you can see, each family was designated a number, and they would ask the person behind the wicket to retrieve the mail for them. And this was a main center of Charleswood. In fact, the first Charleswood Council was held in Kelly's store in 1913, so it's very significant. And right next to the the post office wicket, we have our mascot, our bison, and it depicts how the bison were so important to the Charleswood history. And with the Aboriginal history that goes back 5,000 years in Charleswood to the Métis history. And then our museum depicts life in Charleswood from 5,000 years ago up to the present time. So,
Gwen, thank you so much. I hope you guys come in. We're going to learn more coming up at 7:27 and some new nuggets at 7:08.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones added 286 points and the Nasdaq 302 points. The S&P index is 52 points up. The Canadian dollar had no changes. Overseas, the Hang Seng is flat and the Nikkei dropped 162 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. There are calls to improve pedestrian and cycling safety in Winnipeg's North End.
4 lanes and it's rush hour. There are tons of cars and I just biked here and it's a harrowing experience.
This was the scene at Main Street and Mountain Avenue on Monday. People rallied there after a pedestrian was hit at that corner on Thursday. On May 21st, Winnipeg Police Service responded to reports a vehicle had crashed. A woman in her 50s had been hit and then taken to hospital with serious injuries. Organizers say the city needs to do something to make this area safer.
When we do multiple little things together, we can make a difference. And whether it's reducing speeds or putting in bike lanes or more restrictions on like photo radar, there's many things we can do to control the culture of car dangerous driving.
There is no update at this time on the condition of the pedestrian who was hurt. We're learning more about the city's plans for the multi-million-dollar settlement from Caspian Construction over the Winnipeg Police Headquarters project.
Those funds, most of them, will go towards assisting the City of Winnipeg Stabilization Fund, our rainy day fund, to kind of beef that up a little bit.
That fund is used to manage unexpected costs and has faced years of pressure from the COVID-19 pandemic, inflation, and major snow events. The mayor says the plan for the rest will be determined in the next budget process. The settlement was paid to the city's external legal counsel in trust. If the conditions of the trust are met, it will be the last of several payments to the city, amounting to approximately $29.67 million. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a deal to end the war is still possible, despite the U.S. launching new strikes on southern Iran.
I think like anything with something like this, it's going to take a couple days to settle on, even down to the disagreements over a word, sentence. So we'll have to work through that. If there's going to be a deal, we're going to have to work through that. But this is, it's either going to be a good deal or there isn't going to be one.
The U.S. launched so-called self-defense strikes targeting Iranian missile sites and boats attempting to place mines. Rubio says a deal is still on the table, pointing to talks between Iran's top negotiator, Iran's foreign minister, and Qatar's prime minister. U.S. President Donald Trump has been flip-flopping on whether a deal is actually close. He earlier said negotiations were proceeding nicely, but later said he was in no rush to make a deal. Iran's foreign ministry has confirmed that while there is structural progress, an official signing is not yet imminent. In a statement Monday, Pope Leo urged governments to slow down and regulate the development of AI.
Artificial intelligence now demands to be disarmed, freed from logics that turn it into an instrument of domination, exclusion, and death.
The pontiff voicing concerns over autonomous weapon systems and the spread of misinformation. Earlier this month, we told you Hermanos Steakhouse was closing in the Exchange District, but fans of the South American restaurant won't need to wait too long to sink their teeth into one of its signature dishes. Hermanos is taking over a long vacant space attached to Centennial Concert Hall this fall. The news comes just weeks after co-owner Noel Bernier announced its Bannatyne location was closing after 17 years. But the new digs will be a double feature for the Bernier family. It's also opening a cafe in the concert hall space as well.
As soon as we found out this was available, took a look, and the space is huge. It's wonderful. So it just seemed like the perfect fit. Like Hermanos is dinner and a show, and we've always had people come for dinner and a show, and then they come here. So why not the best place to bring the dinner to the show?
Nanny's House Cafe will serve Icelandic and Métis cuisine. The cafe will be open during the day and on nights when there are events at the concert hall. Meantime, Hermanos will be open 5 nights a week and feature live music. The Bernier family hopes to open both restaurants in September. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Wilkes Avenue. All westbound lanes are closed from Fairmont to West Perimeter. The north and southbound curb lanes on Stafford Street will be closed from Scotland to Corden Avenue. And on Waverly Street, the northbound will be reduced to 1 lane between McGilvery and Hennessy. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
It's beautiful outside this morning, starting the day at 12 degrees. Actually, we were at 11. We're already starting to make those gains. The sun is up and it's throwing a little warmth our way. And just a light breeze. That camera's shaking a lot for 4 clicks, though. It's out of the east this morning, and it will be increasing throughout the day. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 52%. So beautiful conditions no matter where you are. Plenty of sunshine to enjoy. You can see, looking at the satellite image, that there's really not much to see because there's very little even in the way of cloud cover this morning, let alone any signs of precipitation. Fog at the moment, though, up in the Churchill area. That's the lines that you're seeing. Once that burns off, you too will enjoy some sunshine. 3 degrees is where you're headed in Churchill today. That's slightly below seasonal. A normal high for Churchill would be around 7, so a little bit cooler than normal. But for everybody else, you're pretty much getting back up to what you would expect this time of year, or slightly above what you would expect, because high teens would be normal throughout much of the northwest, and instead you're heading up into those low to mid 20s, mid to high 20s with that's the wind icon. Wind increasing throughout parts of southern Manitoba. 29 degrees, though. You'll be glad to have that air moving when these temperatures will be as hot as they are, up to 30 degrees, perhaps in the Morden Winkler area. We're not going to be quite that hot, not today anyway. 27 here in Winnipeg, but 22 is normal for this time of year. So we're all going to be well above that, including northwestern Ontario, with plenty of sunshine and the temperatures pushing up in those mid to high 20s. So yes, mid to high 20s for the next couple of days, and then I mentioned it gets even hotter yet, pushing up into those mid 30s, staying in the 30-degree range throughout the weekend. And then for next week, starting to cool, but only slightly, still looking to be well above seasonal on the other side of the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys.
Hi, good morning.
Bon matin.
Bon
Tomorrow, demain, everyone, is Strong Kids Day in support of the YMCA of Winnipeg. So it's giving our kids a chance, hope, mental health, mental wellness, physical wellness, connection. Okay, so tomorrow is Strong Kids Day. These are some of the benefits right here. Run this.
As a single mom, Brooklyn, the doors at the Y were always open to you and your family. What does that mean to you as a single mom?
It means that I've always had a place to go where there's a community to connect with other people. There's always activities for the kids. It's just always been a safe place to me where my whole family can go and we can all grow together.
Because not only does it save a lot of stress from finding money for these programs and that, but it also gives my child the opportunity to learn something new, to get out of the house, interact with other kids.
We're making kids be happy and learn a lot of activities and have fun. I had a lot of fun. The little kids had a lot of fun. I get to meet a lot of people and learn new skills and be more sociable, and I really like it.
So to get that link and to help, all you have to do is text us this morning. So we're actually asking a favor of you. If you could share that link. So if you're unable to donate, we get that. But if you share that link with other people, somebody will be able to help out. And so you can text 99999, so 5 nines in a row, and the letter Y, and we'll send you that link, and then you can pass it on and you can take a look and learn a little bit more about the Y and all of the important programming that they do and the impact they have in our community. It's truly fascinating.
Truly changes lives. Strong Kids Day tomorrow in support of the YMCA of Winnipeg. And yeah, text the letter Y to 99999. Share that link with all of your friends, family, with your company. If you can, that'd be amazing.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thanks, you guys. Have a good day. He may not sport a cape or have any catchphrases, but one new Westminster man is a bit of a superhero to his neighbors. CTV's Adam Sawatsky found out why.
Well, he's not faster than a speeding bullet or more powerful than a locomotive. Herbert Eaton is proving to be a superhero of sorts.
I just want to come out and enjoy my time picking garbage up.
And while he can pick up a bounty of butts in a single day,
300, sometimes I'll get more than that.
And demonstrates the ability to do it every day,
3 to 4 hours.
Herbert is too humble to reveal the true potential of his powers, but others are happy to try.
He does good things around here. Friendly, tries to be happy.
Always looking for someone to help.
Like when he discovered this handful of discarded credit cards and ID.
I'm going to try and turn it in somewhere or see if I can find a person.
And although he's never sported a costume, Herbert has been seen carrying groceries for people with mobility issues, sharing jokes with strangers who seem down, and giving food to the hungry.
He's just not judgmental. He treats everyone like their needs are important.
Now, you should know there's no death-defying origin story here. Herbert says he just started volunteering to do this one day because he was bored during the pandemic and hasn't stopped since.
It's fun picking up stuff, trying to keep the place clean.
And although people have offered him donations and gratitude, Herbert has never asked for anything in return.
And I'm just happy one day to say thank you for the great work you've done for us.
We appreciate it.
And keep it up.
But Herbert is most happy when neighbors like Danielle are inspired to join him in not just cleaning up, but building up the community.
So we feel like we're connected to something, so it's less isolating.
We can learn to make our community better and healthier.
It lifted my mood. Think about something else besides yourself and your own problems.
And perhaps that's Herbert's greatest power of all, showing you don't need to commit spectacles of service to be a hero. You can be super by simply helping others. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, New Westminster.
We're going to take a quick break now. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. It's Tuesday, May 26th. Today, Demolition Day, when Winnipeggers can expect the teardown of the Arlington Street Bridge. Plus, off the street, what police are saying about a major gun seizure in downtown Winnipeg. And summertime fun, when Winnipeggers will be able to enjoy the city's spray pads. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, at 7:52, we're going to hear from the Manitoba Teachers Society because the Premier has said that he wants to see an outright ban of apps for kids under a certain age. And one of those apps includes YouTube. Well, the Manitoba Teachers Society uses YouTube a lot as a teaching tool. So we're going to find out a little bit more about their stance and what they'd like to see happen and some of the talks with the province. But the weather is nice. You don't even want to be on your phone. You just want to be out there and enjoy the weather.
Right? And there's so much sunshine out there. You can't even see your phone when they're out there anyways. You just put it away for now. It is so gorgeous. So much sunshine, very few clouds, and even a little bit of heat already. 12 degrees is an above seasonal start to your Tuesday morning. 8 would be a normal low. So we're spending the morning with the sun shining over us and just a slight breeze. That wind at the moment is out of the east, just 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 52%. The city glowing the way the sun is hitting all of those buildings. It's looking beautiful. It's feeling good too. And we're in for a stretch of days. Now, here's the thing about it. It's looking very clear right now. Plenty of sunshine, but that's only good if it gets offset with some rain. And unfortunately, there are no signs of precipitation at any point over the next stretch of days. I'm talking pretty much this entire week. So I know that's, first of all, pretty lousy for the farmers, but even for those, hobby gardeners or people that just, put their flower beds in, you're on your own to do the watering because you can see how clear this is looking. So here we're into Tuesday night, nothing showing up today, nothing showing up overnight, nothing showing up for tomorrow as far as precipitation goes. Anything that is starting to move in is so far north that most of us will not at all be benefiting from it. So very dry conditions, sunny, yes, it's going to look beautiful. It's going to get hot. hot, maybe too hot for some, because look where we're headed. High 20s for the next couple of days is already well above seasonal, and I feel like that's a lot of people's kind of max. But then all of a sudden we're pushing up into those low to mid 30s, and that's where we'll stay throughout the weekend. Even into next week, this stretch of heat continues as we're looking into Monday, still with the sunshine and no signs of rain. But the flowers that we're drawing are certainly blooming beautifully. Thanks to Rael, 8 years old, for our art today, and we'd love to see more of what you're working on. So please keep the pictures coming, please, to CTVNewsWinnipeg.ca. We will ask you to send it through our website now, and when you do that, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
Thank you, Terry. The demolition of the Arlington Street Bridge could begin in a matter of weeks. At an emergency meeting Monday, a city committee gave the green light to a $10 million contract to tear down the south side of the structure. CTV's Jeff Keel explains why there was a sense of urgency to get this done now.
Alex Tatanikazi's commute is about 35 minutes longer since the Arlington Bridge shut down for good in late 2023.
And now I have to go all the way down to this way and back this way, so it takes a while.
Demolition is set to begin on the bridge, which could clear a path for a new one.
That would be nice. I would like to see a new one here. Same route again.
The city's Public Works Committee approved a $9.9 million contract to tear down the south end of the bridge. An emergency meeting was held to approve the deal. City engineers say there is a sense of urgency to get this going, as the work over the rail tracks portion can only be done in July and August.
It's the slower period of activity within the yard is what they explain.
And then there's the bridge's condition. It was supposed to be decommissioned in 2020. Patch jobs kept it open until November 2023, when it was closed because steel was corroding at an accelerated rate. This has pushed 5,000 more vehicles per weekday towards the Slaw-Rebchuk Bridge and the McPhillips Underpass.
This bridge needs to be taken down, not only to continue progress to replacing the Arlington Bridge, but it is in such bad shape.
Despite this progress, drivers and cyclists might have to be patient. This is just the first phase of demolition. The north side of the bridge has to come down too. The hope is that could be done in 2027. And while design work on a replacement bridge is well underway, there is no funding in place to build a new one yet.
And realistically, if funding would be approved, about 2 to 3 years after decommissioning, we would start construction.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The city says the demolition this year will take up to 6 months, starting as early as June the 1st. Traffic will be impacted from time to time at Logan and Arlington. We're learning more about a major gun seizure in downtown Winnipeg. A 24-year-old man is facing 77 charges after police confiscated nearly 24 loaded handguns from an apartment. Inspector Josh Awatsky with the Winnipeg Police Service says on May 7th, police received a tip regarding a man in possession of cocaine and armed with a firearm. Police then obtained a search warrant for an apartment suite at 344 Cumberland Avenue in the Central Park neighborhood. Inside, they found 21 restricted loaded handguns, a silencer, around 200 rounds of ammunition. Police also discovered 27 grams of cocaine, $25,000 and other paraphernalia. Awatsky says investigators found evidence that a firearm had been discharged within the unit. A round had even struck a church across the street.
I'd like to talk about the impact of this seizure of firearms. These are all firearms that were meant for illegal purposes, whether it's illegal possession or use in a criminal offense. By seizing these firearms, the organized crime unit members have prevented possibly numerous shootings, including homicides, not only in Winnipeg and Manitoba, but throughout Canada, as we've learned that many of these firearms are trafficked within the province and across the country.
The 24-year-old suspect was arrested on Cordon Avenue the same day the apartment was searched. He's facing 77 charges related to drug trafficking and firearm offenses. Police allege the man was involved with organized crime and that he was trafficking cocaine to several northern Manitoba communities. However, there's no indication at this time that he was involved in the province's largest ever drug bust, the results of which were made public last week. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he has spoken with Israel's president over what he calls the appalling treatment of detained Gaza flotilla activists. 12 Canadians were among more than 400 activists on boats intercepted by Israel. Videos have surfaced showing the activists taunted by Israel's national security minister while kneeling on the ground in a makeshift detention center. Prime Minister Carney demanded an independent investigation during his call with the Israeli president. More than 20 people were taken to hospital when an unknown substance was sprayed at a mall in Tokyo. This happened at the G6 shopping center at Tokyo's upscale Ginza district. Fire department officials said 26 people reported throat pain and felt unwell. Symptoms are believed to be mild. Local reports say police found traces of pepper spray on the wall. No suspect has been arrested. You now have another cool way to cool off as temperatures climb this week. Many of Winnipeg's city spray pads are now open. The rest are expected to open by Friday, all except for Boyd Park, which is scheduled to open July 2nd. Most spray pads operate daily between 9:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. until September 7th. Meantime, heated outdoor pools are expected to open June 19th, excluding Fort Garry Lions. All other outdoor pools will operate daily, weather permitting, and waiting pools will begin opening on a staggered basis beginning July the 1st. You can find hours and locations by visiting the city's website or calling 311. This is an impressive collection of space rocks. There are 50 meteorites on display at the Natural History Pavilion in Spain. They come from the private collection of a person known as the meteorite hunter. The highlight is a 600-kilogram rock that's almost 4 billion years old. The name of the exhibition is Impact. But the meteorite hunter says that's a bit dramatic because major meteorite landings happen once every few million years. Very cool. Here's a look at what's happening now on Portage Avenue. It's still quite light at this point in the drive this morning. If you see any issues out on the streets, send us a text, please. For all those who play team sports, check out this contest. We're giving away 25 $100 Chicken Chef gift cards with draws every week from May 25th to July 17th. Tell us your most memorable fun team moment, attach a picture, and you will be entered the draw. Plus, your picture and story could be featured on our show. Your team memory could be about a great play, exciting wins or losses, or just fun antics, all those things that make memorable moments and show your team spirit. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your picture. Good luck.
Your Manitoba sports team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
Doors Open Winnipeg is happening Saturday and Sunday, and if you're looking for a free fun event, you could visit the Charles Wood Museum. That's where Ainsley is live this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, they're going to be open for free on this Saturday. So much to check out. It'll have you thinking, what was Manitoba like 100 years ago? Everything from our agricultural history to here we're looking right now at the Manitoba tartan, which was actually inspired by the 1812 Red River settlement, but created back in 1958. We're also going to learn about what school was like. I pulled this out of the other room because I thought it was the cutest thing in the world. This is from the Charles Wood United Church and from their Sunday school. Look how adorable that is. Little wooden chairs. We're also going to be looking at what a schoolhouse would have been at the time, and they have these little foot warmers, which I also think is cute because, you know, I don't know if did they have heating in 1902?
They must have. They had fire. All right, thank you.
They had
Ainsley.
foot warmers.
Yeah, that works too. Socks are certainly great.
They had sun.
They had sun. And, you know, this is incredible, Terry, because this is literally beach weather right now.
I know.
Weird.
Rochelle, this entire week is going to be spectacular for those sun worshippers. So long as you're not worried about plants getting a good drink or anything along those lines, because that's what we're going to be lacking. We certainly won't be lacking in sunshine. We're certainly not going to be lacking in heat. But any signs of precipitation? Nothing like that showing up throughout this week. 13 degrees is where we're sitting right now, so the mercury is on the rise slowly. Winds increasing slowly from 4 kilometers per hour last hour to 8 clicks right now out of the east-northeast. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 57%, and yes, those chicken sunglasses that are over at the Charles Wood Museum, I'm going to need a pair of those today. It is beautiful and bright. absolutely stunning out here. Just a slight breeze, which might be increasing throughout the day. The wind will be likely getting a little bit stronger yet, but that wouldn't be a bad thing with the mercury on the rise into the high 20s all across southern Manitoba. We're talking high 20 temperatures and well above seasonal, even northwestern Manitoba up into the mid-20s today, and clear conditions across the province, not just for today, for a stretch of days. And as hot as it's going to be for today and tomorrow, pushing up into those high 20s, we then shift into the low to mid 30s as we're looking toward the end of the week.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
It's time now for a question of the day. Today is National Paper Airplane Day, so we want to know, what's your favorite classic toy? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We can pay your bills.
The following is a message from the Canadian National Public Alerting System.
This is a cancellation of a previous Manitoba RCMP emergency alert for the community of Pukatawagan. Public can resume their activities.
Good morning. The CEO of Siloam Mission will be stepping down as part of what the agency calls a 6-month organizational support plan and leadership transition. In a news release Monday, Siloam Mission announced that CEO Sonia Prevost-Durbecker will step down. The transition and the support plan have come in response to what Siloam describes as increasing financial pressures, rising community need, and operational challenges facing the charitable sector across Canada. The news release says Siloam will bring in a temporary local executive support team next week. As CTV News previously reported, just over 2 weeks ago, Siloam announced it would lay off 16 people due to a reduction in donations and an increase in demand for its services. Prevost-Durbecker was appointed to the position as Siloam CEO in mid-February of this year. People in the RM of Gimli are getting a reprieve on bill payment penalties following a cybersecurity incident earlier this spring. The municipality first addressed the cyber attack in April. It's working with cybersecurity experts to investigate and assess the situation, but the full impact isn't yet known. The RM is working to restore its systems so residents can process their bill payments at the municipal office. Interest will not be charged on delayed payments as a result, and no penalties will be applied to utility or tax accounts for those affected. This is not how Habs fans wanted Game 3 to go.
Center, passing it across Jarvis. Back to Svechnikov. Scores! Evgeny Svechnikov has won it in overtime.
The Carolina Hurricanes defeated the Montreal Canadiens 3-2 in overtime last night. That means Carolina now takes a 2-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Final. Game 4 in the best-of-7 series is Wednesday at the Bell Center.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
And there was another minor mic malfunction last night, leaving some fans at the Bell Center to help sing the U.S. national anthem. This, of course, follows what happened earlier in the playoffs when fans in Buffalo jumped in to sing "O Canada" after the singer's mic stopped working. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Portage Avenue. Still a pretty easy start to the day in your drive this morning in this part of the city. If you see any problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
In entertainment, you can take a musical journey back in time across the Emerald Isles this weekend. A taste of of Ireland, the Irish music and dance sensation is coming to Canada for the very first time and making a stop in Winnipeg Saturday. World-renowned Irish dancers will be putting their talents on display alongside contemporary musicians and vocalists. The show also explores the history of the region through dance and themed scenery.
We do go through different events within Ireland's history. So you'll notice that the first part of the show is a lot darker almost, because Ireland did go through those tough times during Vikings, the famine, all of that. So we try to portray the history of Ireland through Irish dance.
A Taste of Ireland takes the stage at Burton Cummings Theatre Saturday evening. You can find tickets through the Bert's website or Ticketmaster. Jim Henson's Creature Shop is drawing back the curtain and allowing fans to take a look inside.
Never been open to the public, basically. We're a private organization. We were initially created just for the production purposes of the Jim Henson Company.
The company is allowing tours for the first time ever. The Creature Shop was founded by Jim Henson himself, and tours will allow fans to meet a puppet builder, see a puppetry demonstration, and take photos and videos with some of Henson's most iconic characters. Tickets for the tour are $150 a person. Your primetime lineup today starts at 7 with a blockbuster Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It's all right here tonight on CTV. Again, I'm going to be outside, though.
I just want to say, though, because that took me right back there. Fraggle Rock.
Oh, I know.
The best show, I feel, that was ever put over the airwaves. Brings back all the best memories. Right?
Oh
do,
my.
do, 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 do.
Their hair.
Do, 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 do. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Anyway, now outside we go, shall we? Taking a look through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower. No, sorry. Look, I got so hung up on Fraggle Rock. Let me do this again. Bath Fitter, you deserve this. CTV Live Eye brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. All right. Do, 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 do. Okay, it's beautiful out there. I'm just in a giddy mood. All of this sunshine, I'm just soaking it all in and loving up every minute of it. 13 degrees is where we're sitting right now here in Winnipeg, seeing some similar temperatures as people are pushing up into the double digits now, lingering in the single digits. Dauphin at 9 degrees, but that's up 2 from last hour, so you too are making some gains. Then we see some double digits through that kind of northwest central area. Further into the north, single digits, but you could be headed up into the mid-20s throughout that northeastern corner as well. It's sunny out there. It's beautiful and bright. Everybody is soaking it up. And as far as the day goes, it's going to be heating up too. 18 degrees when kids get into the classroom. 24 through the lunch hour, already above seasonal, but headed to a high of 27 today. 28 for tomorrow, so the next couple of days, high 20s. And then we're pushing up into those low to mid 30s through the rest of the week and the weekend. With that heat continuing right on the other side, we'll see it or feel it into Monday again. Badger out there frolicking in the sunshine, having a grand old time out at Sandy Ridge Stables. Thanks to Kevin for sharing this beautiful photo with us, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
May 26, 1908. The first major oil strike in the Middle East occurred in Persia, which was later known as Iran. The discovery created the Anglo-Persian Oil Company in 1909. That company eventually became BP. The discovery reshaped global politics for the next century. May 26, 1972. U.S. President Richard Nixon and Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev signed the Anti-Ballistic Missile, or ABM, treaty in Moscow. The only ABM system allowed by the treaty ever to be built and operated in the U.S. was at Nicoma, North Dakota. It operated for only 1 year until it was deactivated in April of 1976 by congressional decision. May 26, 2025, a judge approved a $500 million settlement in a class action lawsuit that accused Loblaw Companies and its parent company, George Weston, of engaging in a bread price-fixing scheme. Records show 78% of the settlement funds would be allocated to residents in Canada outside Quebec, and more than 20% would end up with people in that province.
A woman managed to survive a mid-air collision while paragliding in the Austrian Alps. NBC's Emily Aikita has more.
It
It started out as a picture-perfect scene, a woman paragliding through the beautiful blue skies over the Austrian Alps. But that all changes in a heartbeat when seemingly out of nowhere comes the buzzing sound of an airplane. Watch again as a small plane zooms into the picture, tearing head-on into the lines connecting the woman to her paragliding wing. The impact shredding the sail into a tangle and sending her into a terrifying free fall for around 10 seconds. Amazingly, she is able to deploy her reserve parachute before descending to the ground for nearly 2 minutes. The woman finally landing safely on a remote forest road. Back on solid ground, you can hear her react in relief. Saying, "I'm still alive. That's the main thing." Salzburg State Police in Austria issuing a statement about the incident Sunday, not identifying either the paraglider or the pilot, but confirming it involved a 44-year-old paraglider from Upper Austria and a 28-year-old Tyrolean man flying a scenic flight, adding that according to the pilot, he was unable to avoid the collision in time. Authorities also calling the woman an experienced paraglider, saying she was airlifted to an airport and that no one was injured. The video posted to Instagram Saturday by a user named Sabrina writing, "I actually still can't believe that I'm sitting here typing this. And apart from a few nasty bruises all around, nothing really happened." A midair scare with the miracle ending.
Wow. All right, coming up at 7:28, Ainsley is live at the Charleswood Museum this morning. They're opening up their doors for free on Saturday for Doors Open Winnipeg. Stay with us for more. Ainsley is live at the Charleswood Museum this morning. In your notes, Ainsley, it says unusual artifacts, including chicken sunglasses. We've been talking about them all morning. What is that?
It's a tease. I'm going to tease you for that one.
Okay.
It will happen in this segment, so just give me a quick second. First, we're going to talk about another little nugget. If you get peed off or annoyed having to go past the perimeter, you're not going to believe what they had to do 100 years ago. Pam McKenzie joins me now to tell us all about it. And this picture depicts what was going on.
Yes, you actually had to take a ferry, if you can believe it, before the western perimeter that we're so familiar with. That actually opened in 1962. There was a ferry going across from Charleswood to the St. James to St. Charles side of the river. This is and that was actually built in 1870. So for almost 100 years, we had to take a ferry to get to the other side of the river.
So it was a privilege to be moving through our city. As a former traffic reporter, I know exactly where we're going with that. Okay, to the chicken, because I know that we've been teasing it all morning long. Why in the world would a chicken have sunglasses on?
Okay. They look like this. There's a metal rod, if you can possibly see that. And this was actually pushed through the cartilage in every chicken through the top of his nose, so they would have red plastic sunglasses. Chickens have a very hierarchical society, and the senior chickens, shall we say, if they see blood or a different color on any other chicken, they would peck it to death. So what they did was put sunglasses on them so they would see red, everything would be red, so they would never see any color differentiation in chickens. So if you can believe, someone actually did that for many chickens.
Not as trendy as it sounds. Okay, I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to transition. We're almost out of time. We only have 30 seconds. I don't know how we're going to get there. It's a little far, so we're going to go for a walk. Look at this hair curler. Maybe I'll just sit because we do only have 30 seconds. Pam, can I sit?
You sit.
And I'm going to do my hair.
From an old salon. It looks like a torture. Oops, sorry. Did I get you? Looks like a torture equipment, but it would heat. It's electrical. And you would put the curlers in there, and it would make the waves, if you're familiar with the styles back then.
CTV Glam Team.
Yes.
Back to you.
This is what we have.
Wow, technology has come a long way from sunglasses to curling irons. Thank you, Ainsley. Now we know. Chicken sunglasses.
I don't think I wanted to know. That's awful.
It sounds cruel.
I mean, you pierced sunglasses onto them.
Yes.
I thought it was just because they're cute and funny and we can make jokes
about it. It's not cute at all. We're not going to talk about it anymore.
I don't even want to remember it. Erase that from my mind. Okay, outside this morning, it's 13 degrees and bright and sunny and a little bit breezy, but it will get stronger as far as that wind goes. It's right now out of the east-northeast, just 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 57%. So beautiful, yes, warm, pleasant. It's going to get hot today and then even hotter throughout this week. So for those of you that love the heat or have been waiting for it to arrive, Mother Nature finally coming through with the goods. But not all goods are going to be great because sunshine is only so good when it's being offset with precipitation. And you can see how clear it is. There is no sign of precipitation, not today, not throughout this week. So farmers, I know we're going to be hearing from them soon, but even for those of you that just put your flowers in over the weekend, for example, and are hoping, you know, to see them starting to bloom, you're going to have to stay on top of all of that watering because Mother Nature is not doing it for us. 27 today comes with a little bit of a breeze out of the east, up to 40 kilometers per hour. That breeze tapering overnight. As we fall to 13, that's still above seasonal. 8 would be a normal low. 22, a normal daytime high, and tomorrow we're soaring beyond it once again, up to 28 degrees. Lots of sunshine, beautiful blue sky, a little bit of a breeze. We'll be glad for that wind, though, with these hot temperatures that are coming our way, especially as they get even hotter as we look toward the end of the week.
Thank you, Terry. Manitoba's official opposition is crying foul over the province's use of an American company for its online survey system.
We've seen time and time again this premier falsely wrap himself in a Canadian flag and talk about patriotism when it only suits his press conference or announcement as a part-time proud Manitoban.
It all has to do with the province's Engage MB website, where the province posts surveys to gauge citizens' thoughts on various topics. For example, the future of time change or the protection of the Seal River watershed. PC leader Abhi Khan says there are plenty of Canadian companies which could be doing the work instead. The site is now operated by an American company called Granicus, which Finance Minister Adrian Salas says purchased the Canadian company, which used to manage the site.
The fact that the company had been sold to an American company came to light a handful of months ago. We've moved really quickly to respond to that, and we're going to ensure, again, that these services are being provided by a Canadian company.
Salah also noted all of the information is stored in data centers here in Canada. This all comes in light of Premier Wab Kinew's Buy Canadian policy, which was announced a year ago in response to tariffs imposed by the United States. A visit to the Forks these days may require some extra persistence to find a place to park. The accommodation of construction at the site means hundreds of lots and spaces are no longer available.
I was lucky to find a parking spot today, but sometimes you kind of have to make your own parking and hope you don't get caught, or you're waiting at least like 10, 15, 20 minutes for someone to come out so you can get a spot.
People pulling into the Forks can't pull into a parking spot across from the Human Rights Museum. The area and the 350 spots that used to be here are now a fenced-off construction zone for the upcoming rail side at the Forks development. For its part, the Forks says in 2023 there was a total of 1,500 stalls available, and 92% of the time, no more than 700 are occupied. During elevated usage, about 875 spots are grabbed, but on the odd day, such as during special events, far more than that are required.
So on those busier days, like an Indigenous Peoples Day and Canada Day that are both coming up, we know that parking's at a premium there. But overall, typically you can find spots here at the Forks.
The Forks is encouraging people to use alternate forms of transportation like Winnipeg Transit when they can. And when they can't, they're advising people to be patient and to keep circling until that perfect spot opens up. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a deal to end the war is still possible, despite the U.S. launching new strikes on southern Iran.
I think like anything with something like this, and it's going to take a couple days to settle on, even down to the disagreements over a word. Sentence. So we'll have to work through that. If there's going to be a deal, we're going to have to work through that. But this is, it's either going to be a good deal or there isn't going to be one.
The U.S. launched so-called self-defense strikes targeting Iranian missile sites and boats attempting to place mines. Rubio says a deal is still on the table, pointing to talks between Iran's top negotiator, Iran's foreign minister, and Qatar's prime minister. U.S. President Donald Trump has been flip-flopping on whether a deal is actually close. He earlier said negotiations were proceeding nicely, but later said he was in no rush to make a deal. Iran's foreign ministry has confirmed that while there is structural progress, an official signing is not yet imminent. Have you ever wanted to be a turtle scientist? Well, people in Toronto are getting their chance. The Toronto Zoo posted this call out asking people to take advantage of the Ontario Turtle Tally project. Staff say it's a way to help monitor turtles, and you can do it all from your phone. Using the free platform, you can add observations of turtles from anywhere in Ontario. The zoo says it helps conservation teams monitor populations and work with partners to support conservation actions. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Wilkes Avenue, all westbound lanes are closed from Fairmont to West Perimeter. The north and southbound curb lanes on Stafford Street will be closed from Scotland to Corden Avenue. And on Waverly Street, the northbound will be reduced to one lane between McGilvery and Hennessy. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text. Here's a look at your gas prices now. The average in Winnipeg is $1.72. It's a cent lower than yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.51, found at Canco on Isabel Street. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Here's the look outside right now. It's sunny and it's 13 degrees. It's a beautiful start to your Tuesday morning. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back after this.
It's gorgeous outside this morning, 13 degrees and so much sunshine. We'll be soaking it up all week long. East-northeast winds are light, just 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 57%. So yes, a beautiful start to your day. Enjoying all of that sunshine. If you don't like the intense heat, the morning hours will be the best for you because the mercury will be on the rise today and above seasonal temperatures are expected all throughout southern, northwestern Manitoba. Northeastern Manitoba is still going to be warming up, just not quite as hot as other places, or perhaps not quite to what is normal for this time of year. For example, 7 degrees would be a seasonal high in Churchill. You'll end up at about 3 with some fog. Those are the lines that you're seeing there. Whereas other places will warm up a little more so to more seasonal temperatures. 18 degrees expected in Thompson with all of that sun shining over you. Then above seasonal here in the northwest, pushing up into those low to mid-20s. And yeah, beautiful clear conditions, letting all of that sunshine through. You'll be soaking it up all day long, all week long, in fact, because these conditions look like they're going to be lasting throughout the week, and the temperatures will only continue to increase throughout the day. Brandon still gets the wind icon, 29 degrees expected, and up to 50K winds gusting today. So a little bit breezier than perhaps other places, although Winnipeg can also expect winds increasing to about 40K wind gusts. Temperatures will also be increasing, though, to the high 20s or for some low 30s. Morden Winkler area could be hitting that 30-degree mark. And if we don't hit it today or tomorrow, we likely will by the latter part of the week because we're pushing up into the mid-30s, in fact, as the temperatures just keep climbing. We'll stay in that 30-degree range throughout the weekend, still feeling the heat into the start of next week.
All right, let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Charleswood Museum. And you've been showing us some artifacts this morning. What are you going to show us now?
Well, we're going to tell you how kids got to school and stayed warm, because in the early 1900s, they didn't have the luxury of a nice heated bus. Gwen is joining me once again to tell us and really show us what it looked like at the time. I wanted to start with the heating because I've never seen anything like these foot warmers.
Oh, this is a foot warmer, and in order to keep their feet warm in a sleigh in the cold winter days, they use this. There's a piece of charcoal that they get from their wood stove, and they put it in a basket there, and then that pushes into the foot warmer, and then they carry it off to the sleigh.
Off to the sleigh. And here I was for Christmas going, do I need a towel warmer? Oh, how times have changed.
And these are some of the first school desks from Chapman School. And on top of it is the slate. They didn't use a lot of pencil and papers. They used the slate, and that actually was from a Charleswood resident, a Lil James, and she actually lived on Elmhurst Road.
Oh, wow. I bet there's kids watching going, is that a tablet? To the photographs here, this here was the old schoolhouse. What is it now?
That is next to the Legion, where Boschman Place is now, and that's we call the red brick schoolhouse, but it wasn't, and it was built in 1914, and we have the cornerstone to that building right there, and it wasn't Charles Wood's first school. The first school was built in 1887, and it was a little white French school, but it was built right next. It was right next to this red brick schoolhouse, and the land was donated by one of the early Métis families.
Feels like a history lesson. So it's the perfect type of school. Doors Open is happening this weekend, Saturday, here at the Charles Wood Museum.
Thank you, Ainsley. There's something called the enhanced games, and even where performance-enhancing drugs are allowed. Not surprisingly, there are many critics. ABC's Sophie Flay reports.
It's being called the Olympics on steroids.
Strength will be measured. Speed will be tested.
42 world-class athletes, some of them former Olympians, competed in the enhanced games in Las Vegas. While the Olympics go to great lengths to ensure performance-enhancing drugs don't poison the competition, the enhanced games encourage them. According to a new survey of most of the athletes, 91% used testosterone, 79% used human growth hormone, and 29% used anabolic steroids. Critics quick to condemn the event. The president of World Athletics saying no one within athletics takes the enhanced games seriously. And medical professionals warn of the many serious long-term health risks posed by PEDs. But athletes claim the money offered by the enhanced games was too good to pass up. Winners of each event walked away with $250,000.
He was telling me, why would I go back to the Olympics? If I go back to the Olympics, I'd be taking a pay cut. He said, I am making more over this 4-month stretch thanks to Enhanced than I made after I medaled at the Olympic Games.
And breaking a world record results in $1 million payday.
We have our first world record.
A Greek swimmer broke the record in the 50-meter freestyle. But Thor Bjornsson, better known as the Mountain from Game of Thrones, failed to break a world record he set last year in the deadlift. The company behind the event, financially backed by Donald Trump Jr.'s venture capital firm and tech billionaire Peter Thiel, is using the games to boost its business selling supplements, including peptides, which experts warn have an unproven safety record. The event organizers say any enhancements had to be FDA approved and prescribed by licensed physicians. Not all the athletes took performance-enhancing drugs. As always, consult your own doctor before using any new supplement. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
What is the top prize at Cannes? Some people might say the Palme d'Or. Others may say it's the Palme Dog. It's an unofficial prize honoring notable canine performance in film. This year's prize went to Yuri for her role in the film La Pera. The film is about a woman living on a remote island who adopts a puppy. The Palme Dog has been handed out since 2001. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 7th birthday, Emmy. Love from Mom, Dad, Grayson, Asher, and all your grandparents. Happy 19th anniversary, Billy and Irene. Lots of love coming from your family and friends. Happy 70th birthday, Neil, from your family. Happy 13th birthday, Desmond. Love Mom, Dad, sister, brother, and niece, Savannah. And happy birthday, Catherine, from family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
It is going to be a warm one today, well above seasonal, headed to a high of 27 when 22 is normal for this time of year. Now, we were a little bit above that last year, getting up to 25.5, but back in 1969, almost 33 degrees. And those are the kind of temperatures that we could experience by the end of the week, pushing up into those low to mid, even high 30s possibly. So things are going to be ramping up as far as temperatures go. As far as sunshine goes, we're going to be seeing that for the next stretch of days. It's 13 degrees already right now with just a light breeze out of the east-south. No, it's the east-northeast. I'm blinded. I can't even read the screen. East-northeast winds are in 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 57%. So do not leave home without the sunglasses. You can see how beautiful and bright a day it is, and that'll be the case across the entire province. We're going to get the sunshine. We're going to get the heat. What we're not getting is the rain, and we're going to need some at some point, especially after a couple of hot days. But we're getting a week or more of hot days with no signs of precipitation. So that's not ideal, but it still will look good and be pleasant for patio hoppers, or for those of you that are just going to, use the garden hose and water your flowers. Farmers, you're in for a tough one, though, as this stretch continues, and it only heats up with those low 30s toward the end of the week.
Manitoba is proposing a ban on social media and AI chatbots for children under 16 years of age. The Premier's plan also includes banning YouTube in Manitoba classrooms. But the Manitoba Teachers Society is giving this idea a failing grade. That's because often Manitoba teachers use YouTube as a teaching aid both in and out of the classroom. And joining us now is the president of the Manitoba Teachers Society, Lillian Clausen. Good morning, Lillian.
Good morning.
Well, thanks for being with us. Now, research shows that kids under 16 should not be on social media. Do teachers agree with this generally?
Generally, we do. We don't think that students should be given unlimited access to devices to do what they want. We understand that there are very harmful and negative effects to that.
Okay, and you've seen that probably spill over into the classroom as well, right?
Absolutely. So we can see and we know when students use devices for long periods of time that their social skills don't develop in the same way. And so we have seen that in the classroom as well.
And it also might lead to higher rates of anxiety and depression?
Correct. Yes, it does.
Okay. And so what is it about this proposed ban then that on social media and AI chatbots that teachers are really against?
So really what we are against is some of the other pieces. So we do recognize the harmful effects of children using devices without or with unlimited access. Mm-hmm. What we do oppose is the use of some of these applications and some of these teaching tools in a classroom. So our teachers are trained teachers. They have been teaching for a long time. They have developed resources and materials that they use to supplement their lessons in a classroom. And so we are certainly not wanting to take away any resources that teachers have been using over a length of time and to not have them replaced with anything that they can use in a classroom.
Okay, so give me an example of an app that you want excluded from this ban.
So for sure, YouTube is one of them. If we look back 10 or 15 years ago, teachers used to roll in television carts with DVD players or old VHS players, and all of that audio-visual equipment that we use to be able to supplement lessons is no longer something that we see in schools. And so we go to the internet, we go to YouTube to be able to find pieces that we can supplement our lessons with. Teachers also use apps like Seesaw and Class Dojo, or they develop some kind of quizzes and games with programs like Kahoot. And so these things are what teachers use to supplement their lessons. It's not a free rein for students to use in a classroom from when they get there at 9 in the morning till they leave at 3:30. These are very specific pieces that supplement lessons.
Okay, and those lessons often are still available after school hours. So if a kid didn't quite get the message in class, they could refer to that YouTube teaching tool and learn it again at home. Is that accurate?
Well, it is accurate. So if students have access to devices at home, they have access to all of those things as well.
Okay, so any other concerns you have with this provincial proposal?
Well, I think our biggest concern is that there are some decisions that are being made about education that aren't including the educators. And so if we're going to make some decisions that are province-wide or that are outright bans, we really need to be at the table with educators so that we can understand what's happening in classrooms and what is used in classrooms and what needs to continue to be used in classrooms.
Have you heard from the province at all about some of your concerns that you voiced?
So we actually just came off of our annual general meeting at the Manitoba Teachers Society, and Minister Tracy Schmidt was with us on Thursday evening, and she did hear some concerns from the Manitoba Teachers Society and from our members, and we do have a meeting scheduled with government coming up in about a week or so, and so we're looking forward to those conversations to see where that takes us and how we can maybe provide some information that they might be missing when it comes to what's happening in classrooms today.
Did you get the sense that they were open to perhaps changing the policy or their plans because they've spoken to you?
So I certainly have the impression that they're willing to have us at the table and to talk about it, and so we'll see where that goes from there.
Well, thank you, Lillian, for sharing this with us today, and if you want more information, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Nikki Reyes in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for it, we head to Toronto. Marlins taking on the Blue Jays. Trey Savage on the hill. Javier Sanoa bounces one back to him. It goes off his glove, then his hat. He bobbles it, then he scoots it to first in time for the out. Just a wild little juggling act. And Savage sticks with it to get the out. A smile on the field. And then after the inning, he tells pitching coach Pete Walker all about it, how he just earned the must-see moment from Monday. You sure did. Tonight on TSN, the Memorial Cup round robin continues. Chicoutimi facing Kitchener. Coverage begins at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, May 26th. An historic bridge over North Winnipeg rail yard faces imminent demolition. How much will phase one of the project cost, and why does work need to start soon? Western premiers gather in Alberta. Talk about tariffs and trade has taken a back seat to speculation about a potential separation and its wider implications. And amped up over Ferrari's EV, this all-electric edition of an Italian supercar is garnering reactions both positive and negative. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, at 8:15, we're going to tell you about Oak-Hammock Marsh's Duck and Run. It's a fundraiser, and apparently the one here in Winnipeg is sold, or at Oak-Hammock is sold out, but there's one in Brandon that still has tickets, and then there's a way for you to get involved without physically getting involved. So we're going to tell you the importance of fundraising and why you should support the cause and what it's all about as well.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is it like a duck and run?
Duck and run.
We'll find out.
We'll find out if you do it in waddle the whole way.
Yeah.
But the weather, you want to get outside, maybe not run in this heat. But
yeah, that's just it. If you're going to do your big workouts, exert yourself, do it early in the morning before it gets too hot. Like right now, for example, it's beautiful out there, 13 degrees, and if you want to be a little more active, this would be the time. The breeze is on the lighter side out of the east-northeast, just 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 57%. So yeah, 13 degrees to begin the day with the sunshine, a beautiful start to the day. Where we're headed, it's going to get hot. Where we're headed throughout this week, it's going to get really hot. Here's a look right now at the satellite image. Not much to show you here. I've been saying it's going to be not just sunny, incredibly dry as well. The Futurecast shows us just how dry and for how long, because you can see very little in the way of even clouds through central and southern Manitoba. Northern Manitoba has a few more clouds for today. Those will be clearing into the afternoon. Here's 9 p.m., clear conditions, and overnight it stays that way. Tomorrow, clear conditions. Where's the rain? There's a little bit of precipitation moving in the most northern stretch, but even a lot of that is hitting above the northern borders. So all of Manitoba dealing with the very sunny, hot, and dry conditions, and that'll be for a stretch of days where it only continues to heat up. High 20s for the next couple, and then we're pushing up into the low 30s. 22 degrees, that would be normal for this time of year. It would also be normal to have a little bit of precipitation, but that doesn't look to be the case right into the start of next week. Our art today is a big thanks to Rael, 8 years old, a beautiful sunny flower here, and we'd love to see more of what you're working on. Send it through our website, please, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and when you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
The demolition of Winnipeg's historic Arlington Street Bridge could begin in a matter of weeks. At an emergency meeting Monday, a city committee gave the green light to tear down the south side of the structure.
This bridge needs to be taken down, not only to continue progress to replacing the Arlington Bridge, but it is in such bad shape.
The Arlington Bridge, which spans the CPKC rail yard, was supposed to be decommissioned in 2020. Patch jobs kept it going, but deterioration became too advanced, and it was closed in November 2023. The city's Public Works Committee has approved an outlay of $10 million to tear down the south end of the bridge. An emergency meeting was held to approve the deal. City engineers say there is a sense of urgency to start, as work over the rail tracks can only be done in July and August when the yard is less busy. The whole process to bring the entire span down could take until 2027.
And realistically, if funding would be approved, about 2 to 3 years after decommissioning, we would start construction.
Design work on a replacement bridge is well underway, but so far there is no funding in place to build a new one yet. The city says the demolition this year will take up to 6 months, starting as early as June 1st. Traffic will be impacted from time to time at Logan and Arlington. Western premiers will meet again today in Alberta. Here's how BC Premier David Eby summed up the first day of talks.
These topics seem at best confusing, if not totally awkward, in light of the referendum question that Premier Smith has put forward.
This week's meeting was called to talk about topics like removing trade barriers and responding to U.S. tariffs. But those issues have taken a back seat to Alberta's upcoming fall referendum. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says BC isn't blameless when it comes to causing division.
All of the voices in leadership who have been trying to stop pipelines from being built, who've been trying to shut in Alberta's oil and gas development, that's created the environment that we're in today.
The BC government has opposed plans to build a new pipeline that runs through its northern coast. The Premier's meeting wraps up today. Tim Hortons is planning a hiring blitz. The company has pledged to hire 10,000 local workers as it dials back use of the temporary foreign worker program. Tim Hortons says it no longer needs to rely on the program due to high youth unemployment rates. Franchises have already hosted hiring events in March and April. More are expected throughout the rest of the year. Ferrari has unveiled its first fully electric car. The Ferrari Luce looks a bit different from your typical Ferrari, and it's a bit divisive, with some people calling it straight to the junkyard trash, though others have said the design is a masterclass. Other luxury car makers like Lamborghini and Porsche have scaled back EV plans recently because of poor demand, but Ferrari executives are optimistic people will come to appreciate their new EV. Here's a look at what's happening outside now on the Norwood Bridge. It's a gorgeous start to the day, and traffic volumes are still quite light in this area at this point. If you see any problems out on the streets, send us a text, please. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live at the Charles Wood Museum this morning, learning a lot about the history of the area. Good morning, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. We're on the second floor now. So much to see and show. Janet Adam is our guest this morning. Tell us about the sports area, because you've got everything from old yearbooks to some pretty cool jerseys.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, we have a lot of memorabilia from the community clubs here in Charleswood. So we have some old things from Robin Park Community Club, Varsity View, and we also have some items from the Charleswood Curling Club and the Charleswood Golf Course. The Charleswood Golf Course, of course, closed when they put the Morway Street Bridge in. So we're really proud of this collection. We have some old skates, etc. So, you know, something that I think a lot of people can really connect to when they come up to the museum.
And something else people can connect to, too, is seeing their own family members, perhaps in an old yearbook. You guys are looking for some yearbooks, too.
Right. Actually, we have a pretty comprehensive collection of the Charleswood Collegiate, but we have nothing from Oak Park High School, and they just celebrated 50 years, so we're looking for any type of yearbook that you could bring into the museum. We proudly show it here. A lot of people spend a lot of time looking through these yearbooks, because you're right, they're looking for family members, they're looking for their mom and dad, and they're looking for themselves. So it's a really great way to spend an hour here at the museum.
How much fun is it, too, to just look at old styles? I know I do that when I'm looking at yearbooks going, oh, I can't believe they did that with their bangs in the 1980s. But when it comes to trends and styles, weddings, the same thing is happening.
Right. So we have a number of wedding dresses here in the museum. You'll see that the first couple, they're actually colored. So people did wear colored wedding gowns. The peach one is from the 1930s, and the blue one beside it, it's a bridesmaid's dress from the same wedding, so from the 1930s. The white one is actually designed and made in Eaton's downtown, and it was from the 1940s. And then over here to the far side, we have a really light blue one. It's actually from one of our members. It's her mother's wedding gown, and it was from 1934. As I was telling you, it was so tiny, I couldn't fit it on the mannequin. So she had about an 18-inch waist. So some really beautiful things for you to come down and discover at the museum.
Thank you. My two favorite things, Rochelle, sports and fashion. Who knew I could find it in Charleswood?
And I love history, so it's perfect. All right, thank you, Ainsley. Transport Canada is promising swift action to improve security following a W5 investigation into drug smuggling and baggage tampering at Canada's busiest airports. The revelations also raised in the House of Commons. CTV's Graham Richardson reports.
It is a chilling, organized scheme uncovered by CTV's W5.
They opened up the bag. It was stuffed full of drugs.
Tags switched on checked bags, unwitting Canadians' luggage tags used to carry drugs in different bags, smuggled into the airport by corrupt employees.
You're all being detained for transporting narcotics.
The W5 investigation raised in the House of Commons Monday by the opposition.
I walk out through the terminal doors, nobody checks you. That's from a W5 investigation exposing organized crime using travelers' baggage to traffic drugs through Pearson Airport. Given the Transport Minister's silence on this brazen security failure, if the Liberals won't be taking this seriously now, why would Canadians believe they ever will with our security?
At least 6 arrests related to luggage tag swapping have been made by the RCMP. We continue to invest in law enforcement, Mr. Speaker.
This story has gone viral nationally and internationally, not only because of how many cases W5 uncovered, 17, but also because of the simple questions it raised. As passengers take off their shoes and belts and hand over water bottles at security, why aren't employees scrutinized?
We joke you could walk out carrying a cruise missile, end quote.
And it's not just Canada. These women from Brazil detained in Germany for over a month. Their bags were switched and caught on camera. They were blamed for carrying drugs. This video eventually freed them.
One of the most challenging parts about this is how vulnerable passengers are when they check their bags. Because of this investigation, many of them will now look much more closely when they arrive. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Here's a look right now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. So beautiful out there. Do not leave home without the sunglasses. You do not need all of the extra layers. I wore a jacket earlier this morning because it was slightly cooler. But now that that sun is up, I think I'm just going to stuff it in my backpack for the walk home. The layers are not necessary, especially as it continues to warm up today, because now we're at 17 degrees. We were at 11 earlier this morning, so considerably cooler, and that was before the sun was even up. But now that it's heating us up, mid-teens already all throughout southern central Manitoba. Further into the north, it's slightly cooler. 6 degrees seems to be the average. Then there's Churchill, who is at least making gains, now at 1 degree. But there will be a few extra clouds in around the Churchill area. Even here in the northwest, though, headed up into the low to mid-20s, above seasonal temperatures no matter where you are, and very clear conditions for the most part. So all of that sunshine and not a lot of precipitation. I know I've been talking about that, but we're looking at a stretch of dry weather now. 24 degrees through the lunch hours, already above a seasonal daytime high. 22 would be normal for this time of year, but we're headed up to 27 today, 28 for tomorrow, and it only gets hotter. We're looking into the low to mid 30s toward the latter part of the week and continuing into the weekend, and even for next week, above normal, with plenty of sunshine to carry us into the other side of the weekend. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
A new report
report from Equifax Canada says insolvency volumes have risen to the highest level since 2009 amid escalating financial strain on homeowners. The firm's first quarter Market Pulse report on consumer credit trends says systemic risks persist even while Canadians are staying financially disciplined to cope with economic challenges. U.S. energy firm Northern Oil and Gas is acquiring a stake in Canadian oil and gas properties, its first foray into international assets, according to people familiar with the matter. The sources say Northern will pay Parallax Energy $350 million Canadian in cash and stock for a 25% interest in oil-producing properties and tens of thousands of acres in Duvernay Shale Basin in Alberta. Shares in rocket and satellite companies are rallying in the pre-market trading on Tuesday, set to extend recent gains. The sector has advanced since SpaceX filed publicly for what stands to be the largest ever initial public offering. Among the movers, the maker of the Canada arm, MDA Space. It's up close to 50% in the last 3 weeks. Shares of Elbit Systems are up nearly 10% today after it won a $1.4 billion European contract for military modernization. And the company also reported its first quarter results. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
If you want to get active outside and enjoy nature while helping to preserve it, Ducks Unlimited Canada is offering its annual Oak Hammock Marsh Duck and Run fundraiser. Runners and walkers have raised thousands of dollars over the years, and you can help. Joining us now is the chair and race director for Ducks Unlimited Canada's Oak Hammock Marsh Duck and Run, Eli Ouimet. Good morning, Eli.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, let's take it all the way back to when you were 16 years old. You have always had a relationship with Oak Hammock Marsh. Tell us a little bit about how that started and why you're still involved with it today.
Absolutely. So when I was in high school, I was in a program that had me out at Oak Hammock Marsh learning about wetlands and how to measure their health and everything like that. That really just showed me the value of wetlands as helping with both carbon capture, biodiversity, helping wildlife thrive, and seeing what really is going on when you look closely at wetlands. Carried through Ducks Unlimited Canada, the charity that is hosting Duck and Run. Yeah. Also close to my heart, part of my upbringing and my family living in a remote area in Ontario. So the charity and the center are both really close to me. I work there now, have for 7 years. I've been volunteering for Duck and Run since 2020. And I was so excited in 2024 when it became a national event with locations across Canada participating.
Okay, and preserving wetlands is essential to the environment.
It absolutely is. We're really lucky in Canada that we've got so much beautiful wilderness and wildlife, and it's what makes our place so special. It helps with our natural resources, helps with climate change mitigation, things like that. And so in the past, people have drained wetlands, and now we're seeing that restoring those wetlands and also conserving wetlands that do still exist is really beneficial for the environment, for wildlife, for ducks, and for people.
And it's incredible when you go to Oak Hammock and you do the little dip into that marsh, there's a whole ecosystem in there.
So much going on. Biodiversity has been something we've been talking about a lot in the last few years, especially. Just seeing the myriad life that is going on inside wetlands. You see the birds and bugs sometimes. The water itself is also just teeming with life, and it's all important and all works together.
Absolutely. Okay, so the Duck and Run is sold out at Oak Hammock Marsh, which is fantastic because that's what you want. But there is a virtual run you can take part in, and there's also the Brandon Run, which is also available. There are spots available. Why is it important for people to support this?
It's important because it's helping to teach the community about why wetlands are important. We have tons of families and children that come out at the Duck and Run events, and so bringing everybody out to help support, raise money for this cause, and help the next generation learn about why this is so important, and also get in touch with your local wetland in your community and see other people who care about the things you care about.
And it's what a peaceful way to, do something important for the environment, and you get to enjoy it while you're running, and it's sort of chilled out. It's not competitive. It's just relax and enjoy the outdoors, right?
Run, walk, or waddle is what we say for Duck and Run. So yes, absolutely, come as you are. Most of our trails are pretty, friendly for any kind of way that you want to do the run, and there's no pressure to make the best time. We welcome all runners of all kinds.
So just because it's sold out at Oak Hammock doesn't mean you can't just show up and support people and go there. there and just check it out for yourself. Anyway, it is open. You can go there.
Absolutely, and our interpretive center is open that day as well, so you can, cheer the runners on and then go take a look at what's there in the interpretive center, newly renovated last year, beautiful place.
And the virtual run, we're almost out of time. How does that work?
You can just go sign up online and log your kilometers, and then you're competing against the other virtual racers to do the most kilometers, but everybody's winning because we're saving wetlands.
All right, and if your community is interested in joining, they're also looking for you if you want to take part, and we have a link on our website with more information on that. Thank you, Eli.
Thank you.
Sends out, guns out. What? Okay, I took my jacket off. I didn't need the layer. It's beautiful out here right now. 17 degrees. East winds 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising. The humidity has been dropping now at 39%. And yeah, wow, what a beautiful start to your morning. It's already warm enough that I'm ditching the extra layer. And I'm somebody that isn't really comfortable sleeveless unless it's warm, and it is already. Now, these temperatures will continue to heat up throughout the day, but in fact, they're going to continue to heat up throughout the week. So where we're headed over the next couple of days will be hot, but then it's going to get scorching through the latter part of the week. The difference being high 20s for the next couple of days or into the mid 30s for the latter part of the week. Now, that's southern Manitoba that I'm talking about, but even northern Manitoba up into the mid 20s for today and well above what you would expect for this time of year, because even northern Manitoba would typically top out in the mid to high teens at this time of year. So you'll be going several degrees beyond that with plenty of sunshine over you. There's no sign of precipitation throughout the entire province for a stretch of days. So I've been saying, if you did some planting over the weekend, they're not going to survive unless you do a little bit of watering yourself. And as far as some of the bigger crops, Mother Nature, she's just not showing up for us in that sense. Yes, we're getting the sunshine and the heat, just not the precipitation. This is Badger out dancing in the heat, though, feeling pretty good about it. That's taken in the Steinbach area at Sandy Ridge Stables. And keep photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
If you like to groove, check out this Your Morning Winnipeg contest. The Winnipeg International Jazz Festival will be happening from June 16th to the 21st. And this is your chance to win a pair of tickets to 2 shows at the Burton Cummings Theatre. Soul Supreme on June 17th and Miles Electric Band on June 21st. 50 artists from around the world are coming for its 35th annual festival. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword trumpet. Good luck. A flashy display of South Korea's submarine fleet sailed into Canadian waters this weekend. Docked in BC, it's part of a joint military exercise with the Canadian Navy. It's also part of a marketing pitch as Ottawa looks to replace our aging fleet. CTV's Adrian Gobriel gives us a first-hand look.
Promising to usher in a new era of middle power might, the Republic of Korea Navy cut through Canadian coastal waters this weekend.
Be safe!
On board its KSS-3 submarine, a bid is in place for Canada to purchase 12 of these South Korean-made subs. The only other finalist vying to deliver Canada's next-generation submarine is a joint German-Norwegian bid. Ottawa will announce the winner of the contract this summer, which could come with a price tag of $25 billion. Korean Navy gave CTV News a tour inside the submarine that could be the centerpiece of Canada's naval future. We were forbidden from taking any of our own video inside. Korean Navy provided footage shows their crew in action. The submarine is more spacious inside than Canada's aging fleet, with the capability to deploy both anti-ship and land attack cruise missiles.
The South Korean KSS-3 is 89 meters in length. It weighs 3,600 tons, can accommodate up to 50 personnel, and stays submerged for up to 3 weeks.
I just want to say thank you.
One of 2 Canadian submariners who traveled with the Korean Navy shared this analogy when comparing the Korean sub to Canada's.
It's kind of like buying a brand new Tesla, and then you're coming out of a '99 Honda Civic.
The Canadian Navy's 4 Victoria-class subs were first built in the 1980s. Only one is currently operational.
You have 3 oceans to patrol. How difficult does that make your job?
I do not have enough ships to patrol and to protect Canada like we should, which is why we're investing.
Currently, the Canadian Navy has approximately 200 submariners. They will need at least 1,000 strong to operate a fleet of 12 submarines.
This is all about democracy and freedom.
The ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Canada believes his country is well positioned to help protect Canadian coastal sovereignty.
Middle powers need to work together, and Korea stands ready to work together with Canada.
In increasingly troubled waters, the Canadian government is focused on forging friendships as it rekindles historic military alliances.
With a decision expected as early as this June, whoever is chosen to deliver Canada's next generation submarine is poised to play an integral role in shaping the country's Navy for decades to come. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, CFB, Esquimalt.
Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We can pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Today's code word is DREAM. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter DREAM with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest. Brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck.
What a gorgeous start to your Tuesday morning. 17 degrees and just a light breeze. It's out of the east, 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 39%. That humidity has been dropping all morning long. The conditions very clear, very sunny, and very warm now. We're almost at a seasonal daytime high, and it's not even 9 a.m., but we're going to soar well beyond seasonal temperatures right across the province today, or I should at least say throughout central, southern, central, and northwestern Manitoba. Northeastern Manitoba might be closer to what is expected this time of year, but for most of us, we're going to be feeling the heat in a very big way. So, for example, 22 degrees would be a normal daytime high, and 27 is where we're headed today, with a bit of a breeze increasing. Now is out of the east, and it could at times this afternoon be gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour. Still, plenty of sunshine and plenty of heat, and that's just the beginning of it. Overnight, we're going to drop to about 13 degrees. 8 would be a normal low. So we're staying above seasonal even through the overnight hours. Just a few clouds and just a bit of a breeze. Now tomorrow, that wind increasing ever so slightly to about 30 winds, but the temperatures start to increase as well. 28 degrees, and then we're pushing even higher up into the mid-30s. That's where we'll stay through the latter part of the week and into the start of the weekend, although right through the end of the weekend we're seeing those 30-degree temperatures lingering, and still with that heat sticking around into next week. Plenty of sunshine, no sign of precipitation, and still above seasonal for Monday.
We're learning more about a major gun seizure in downtown Winnipeg. A 24-year-old man is facing 77 charges after police confiscated nearly 24 loaded handguns from an apartment. Inspector Josh Awatsky with the Winnipeg Police Service says on May 7th, police received a tip regarding a man in possession of cocaine and armed with a firearm. Police then obtained a search warrant for an apartment suite at 344 Cumberland Avenue in the Central Park neighborhood. Inside, they found 21 restricted loaded handguns, a silencer, around 200 rounds of ammunition. Police also discovered 27 grams of cocaine, $25,000, and other paraphernalia. Awatsky says investigators found evidence that a firearm had been discharged within the unit. A round had even struck a church across the street.
I'd like to talk about the impact of this seizure of firearms. These are all firearms that were meant for illegal purposes, whether it's illegal possession or use in a criminal offense. By seizing these firearms, the organized crime unit members have prevented possibly numerous shootings, including homicides, not only in Winnipeg and Manitoba, but throughout Canada, as we've learned that many of these firearms are trafficked within the province and across the country.
The 24-year-old suspect was arrested on Cordon Avenue the same day the apartment was searched. He's facing 77 charges related to drug trafficking and firearm offenses. Police allege the man was involved with organized crime and that he was trafficking cocaine to several northern Manitoba communities. More than 30 Siberian tiger cubs have been born at a special park in northeast China since the beginning of April. Aww. This is the peak breeding season for Siberian tigers, which are an endangered species. For that reason, the keepers working at the Siberian Tiger Park give the little ones nearly round-the-clock attention. Siberian tigers are listed as one of the world's top 10 most endangered animals. Visitors from around the world will descend on Toronto in just a few short weeks for the FIFA World Cup. Businesses are preparing for a surge of tourists. CTV's Heather Wright looks to see if they'll be ready.
Extra TVs are being hung up at Fox & John's, a restaurant and bar in Toronto's Liberty Village.
We're adding TVs basically anywhere we could fit them.
Bar manager Samantha Besteo says World Cup preparations began 6 months ago and include the hiring of additional staff and a new streamlined menu to help serve the packed crowd expected here throughout the tournament.
It's going to be such a fun time here just in the city as a whole. But it comes with a lot of nervousness and we kind of don't know fully what to expect. So we're kind of going into it super excited, positive spirits, kind of ready for anything though.
Liberty Village is used to hosting big crowds. The neighborhood is the unofficial gathering spot for fans of Toronto FC. But the crowds expected during the World Cup will likely eclipse anything this area has seen before. For the roughly 10,000 people who live here, the tournament brings excitement and some trepidation.
Definitely going to be busy, but I think it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of good vibes.
With 45,000 fans expected to pack Toronto Stadium for each match, in addition to the fan festivals located nearby, the foot traffic through this part of town will be a big boost for businesses.
It's going to be interesting, I guess. There's going to be crowds of people. There's a lot of hype behind it.
Kevin McDougall owns Merci Mon Ami with his wife, a restaurant and catering business. It has survived the economic crisis of 2008 and the COVID pandemic. He says the economic climate right now is just as tough, and the World Cup will be a big help.
So the margins are tighter than they ever were. So something like this definitely will help increase volume, which increase revenue. So your margins are still tighter, but you're getting more revenue.
So the World Cup kicks off in less than 3 weeks here in Toronto, with the city expecting more than 300,000 visitors over the course of the tournament. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Let's take a look now at the current traffic situation along the St. James Bridge. Things are moving well here. We have no delays or issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.72. It's a cent lower than it was yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.51, found at Canco on Isabel Street. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Well, it's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is National Paper Airplane Day, so we want to know, what's your favorite classic toy? Lindsay shared, my childhood favorite, He-Man and Battle Cat. There's a movie coming out. For Susan is the Chrissy doll, Hot Wheels for Craig. Mark's favorite classic toy is Lego. Marlene says, I had a doll baby alive, and Barbie's, I don't see kids play with dolls anymore, mostly tablets. Yes, that's true. For Kim, it's the Slinky. A viewer shared, my favorite classic toy is Marble Works by Discovery Toys, the original Marble Run toy. Today says her favorite would have to be the Fisher-Price Cheddar Phone. Favorite toys for Peter, Lego, Meccano, and Tinker Toys, anything you could build with. Unc D's answer, my favorite classic toy would be the original Ninja Turtles. They were so awesome to play with. Felicity loves her dad's little brown bear, and Phoebe likes the old Magic 8-Ball. And a viewer shared, hard to choose just one classic toy. I'll say for me, it's the Pogo Ball, Skip It, Big Wheel, and Game Boy. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
And I'm sure there's a lot of classic toys at the Charles Wood Museum, where our Ainsley McPhail is there this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Oh, it's the best. It's so much fun. I got my little nephew Superman the other day, like the old school one with the cape on the back. Yeah. And he fell asleep with it the other night. Isn't that just so
Good
precious?
choice.
I loved hearing those question of the days. This is awesome. These things are made to last, right? Yeah. And that's what Doors Open is all about this weekend, allowing people to see the history that's been preserved by Manitobans. Kathy O'Donnell's joining us to tell us all about the Karen House and the history of it too, because it goes way back.
It does. So in the 1880s, the Karen family was moved to Manitoba from Quebec, close to Trois-Rivières, and they settled and they bought 2,400 acres of land. So that stretches from the west end of Charleswood to the beginning of Headingley. There were two Karen families that came. Karen House was built by one of these gentlemen, George Karen, and it was built in about 1905. So the family lived in probably wooden structures, perhaps even sod houses up until then. And so in 1905, Karen House was built. This is designated historic property now in the city. It is one of the last remaining farmhouses in Winnipeg. The family lived in the house till the 60s, and then when River West Park Community was being built, the city took over a space and named it Karen Park, and in that space is Karen House. The house came into a lot of disrepair, and so in 1980, the Charleswood Historical Society approached the city about taking over the maintenance of the house. So we have now, for over 40 years, taken care of Karen House, and we maintain. So the house was in a real state of disrepair, and so it took a lot of maintenance and rebuilding to get it to where it is today.
Which is wild too, because there's people living in it, but they leave 4 doors open. So you have a very small window on Sunday to check it out and go inside. What a cool opportunity.
And it's free, which is a good deal. All right, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. What else is free? The sunshine today.
Yes, and I am loving up every minute of it. So is the goose next door. He's already staked out a little spot on the patio. He has claimed his table, and he's not moving. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Yes, patio weather is here, and throughout this week it's going to get hot. So just brace yourself for that. If you're not a fan of the heat, these morning hours are the best to get out and enjoy. Perhaps coffee outside on the deck would be a nice place to just sit and soak up these rays. It's 17 degrees right now with a 15K wind out of the east. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 39%. It is going to be pretty clear throughout the entire province throughout most of this week. I've been saying there's really no sign of precipitation at any time soon. And not only is there no sign of precipitation, it's only going to get hotter as we continue on through the week. Next couple of days will be above seasonal, pushing up into the high 20s, but then through the mid to latter part of the week, or I guess latter part of the week because tomorrow's the mid, we're talking low to mid 30s. It's going to be well above seasonal, and like I said, lots of sunshine, very little precipitation, perhaps none showing up. The only thing that we can hope for is when we get this kind of heat, we sometimes see those thunderstorms developing, although right now the humidity has been so low that we're not necessarily having that recipe brewing primed for that precipitation. But we can hope that perhaps something shows up between here and the end of the week, because otherwise it's just sunny, hot and dry. But at least the sun is shining. So for those of you that did your planting over the weekend, get the garden hose out. You'll have to water it on your own. And for the crops, we can just keep our fingers crossed that Mother Nature comes through. We're taking a break right now. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
We're hearing from a New Brunswick widow sharing a deeply emotional story. Her husband of 35 years died of cancer after a firefighting career that spanned their entire relationship, a profession with a higher risk of cancer diagnosis than the general public. Here's CTV's Laura Brown.
Firefighting brought them together. A Miss Fredericton pageant where the city's firefighters were asked to escort the contestants.
We kind of both knew that we wanted to stick together.
Ken Jenkins had 4 loves of his life: his wife Joni, their 2 boys, and firefighting. His career spanned 30-some years. His battle with cancer, 7 months.
I did say once, the career Ken loved is going to kill him.
Ken Jenkins died at 63 from a brain tumor known as a glioblastoma. It's assumed his time as a firefighter is what caused the cancer, which is why his passing is recognized as a line-of-duty death.
It wasn't until we did a deep dive on it that we realized what the beast we were facing.
Cancer is killing our firefighters.
A firefighter for 25 years and counting, Barry Durling feels it's only a matter of time before he's diagnosed. Firefighters have a 9% higher risk of cancer than the general public and is 14% more likely of dying from it. In the last decade, 31 New Brunswick firefighters have died in the line of duty. 29 were due to cancer.
Our turnout gear is laced with forever chemicals, PFAS, and they're absorbing through our skin when we sweat and getting into our bloodstream, causing cancer.
The Fredericton Department has committed to buying its 120 members chemical-free gear by next year. But Durling feels New Brunswick needs to recognize more cancers as occupational illnesses. Right now, the province lists 10. In Nova Scotia, it's 20. Joni is hoping for that change so more families get to see their heroes live longer. She says Ken's kindness and service is now his legacy.
Right about now, I think the world needs a little more of that.
Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
If you ever discovered a favorite drink while traveling and then wanted more once you got home, alcohol from other provinces can be delivered directly to you. But for local companies, selling to out-of-province customers is a challenge. And as CTV's Harrison Shin explains, the deadline to break down that trade barrier is now less than 6 days away.
It's the sound of cooling down in the heat, quenching that thirst. Here at Devil May Care Brewing Company, Colin Coop is focused on local sales, but they do get out-of-province asks.
We've really gotten that question about like direct-to-consumer sales in other provinces has been like from Winnipeggers who formerly used to live here and really enjoyed our beer and have asked us to, ship it to them and stuff like that.
Back in July 2025, 9 provinces, including Manitoba and 1 territory, Yukon, announced a memorandum of understanding to allow direct-to-consumer sales by May 2026. It means you can buy alcohol from other provinces, breweries, and wineries directly and have it shipped to your home.
We're only 6 days away from the end of the month, and we've really only had 1 additional province fully implement direct-to-consumer shipment of alcohol products. So little movements from government thus far.
Right now, Manitoba is already allowing direct-to-consumer sales, but local businesses like Devil May Care can't sell to out-of-province customers directly. Keely Lepke from Canadian Federation of Independent Business says while Manitoba has been the leader for breaking down internal trade barriers,
Manitoba should be getting up and giving a call to all the premiers, asking where governments are at. Why has this not been announced yet that direct-to-consumer has been allowed in all the other provinces?
In a statement, Manitoba Trade Minister Jamie Moses says in part the government is committed to promote open interprovincial trade, adding they are working to expand Manitoban businesses' market access across the country and will continue to champion Manitoba-made products and encourage Manitobans to support local. For Coop, when interprovincial trade does open up, he'll be ready.
If we were allowed to do it, we'd put it on we'd put an online store up. We'd figure out our shipping model and figure out how we could do that for the customers.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The University of Manitoba men's basketball team just got a slam dunk of a donation. The Bisons are the benefactor of a cool $1 million, and it came from one of their own. Former team member, Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame inductee and MLA John Lowen gave the gift to support the program over the next decade or more. It will also help provide an array of necessities, including equipment, facility upgrades, travel, the establishment of work-study programs, and meals.
To me, this gift is really about gratitude. It's about recognizing the impact others have had on my life and trying to create the same possibility for someone else.
The gift will also enable the university to host major events, including the Youth Sports Men's Basketball Championships. A Danish sculptor is using his unique style to tell a unique story in his first ever museum exhibit.
Like if I tell a story that combines them all, then when I've done this in 10 years, then I will probably have made over 100 sculptures, and then the project itself will be so spectacular because I have made the world into my stage.
Thomas Dambo is a recycling artist and has made his trademark wooden trolls all over the world. He's been making them since 2019, starting with a few at a music festival. Now he has 200 of them hidden around 19 different countries. Trolls often appear in Scandinavian folklore, and in this case, he's trying to use them to convey messages on waste and recycling. His works are almost entirely made from discarded materials like wooden pallets, old furniture, and whiskey barrels.
All right, sunshine to kick off your Tuesday. It's looking gorgeous. It's feeling pretty good. 17 degrees is where we're sitting right now with just a 15K wind out of the east. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 39%. Blue sky pretty much across the province. You can see how clear it is, and you can't see how warm it is, but I'll tell you how warm it's going to get, at least here in Winnipeg. We're talking high 20s for the next couple of days, although even northern Manitoba, mid 20s for the next couple of days. So above seasonal temperatures extending right across the entire province. And then for the latter part of the week, it gets even hotter yet. I mean, we go from hot to scorching with these well above seasonal temperatures, 22 degrees normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine. Unfortunately, no signs of precipitation, but that sunshine carries us not just through the weekend, so nicely timed for that, but it's actually going to extend into the start of next week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, as usual, we show you a fun video at the end of the show, and we kick things off with a friendly reminder that Mother Nature has the final say when it comes to your holiday photos. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
All Nikki wanted was a cute photo of her walking down this path in Santorini, but the wind had other plans. It blew her dress right over her head to the point where she had to sit down to control it.
The tourist is coming by her. Not that she's not a tourist, but this guy.
Is that her wedding day too? It looks like it's her wedding dress. Now to a flock that needed freeing from first responders.
Oh my gosh.
No foul play here. These little ducklings slipped into a sewer while on a walk. The man who called firefighters to assist in the rescue noticed mom running around, quacking around the culvert, asking people for help. After a few minutes in a bucket, the little ones were reunited with their mama and on their way.
Aww.
They're fast. And then finally, there's a first time for everything. Puppy is experiencing her first rainfall. Watch little Henrietta as she tries to bite the drops falling from the sky and try to wipe it from her face. She may be a little unsure now, but as a golden retriever, she'll soon learn to love getting wet. Look at her. Oh my gosh, what a face. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.